And welcome to week 1 of a new season here in the UK Night Skippys Barber series on RaceSpot TV. Hi, tonight I'm Rachel Whiteford joining you from Motegi in beautiful Japan, where we kick off season 4 and a new title hunt for the drivers this time round. Adrian Bidil's on pole position right now at a 32.432 as we wrap up qualifying, so that looks to stay in place. Behind him, David Grinnell, Jonathan Maycock, Mario Larson and Bill Fraser rounding out your top 5 to get those qualifying positions up for you on the screen once that comes to a conclusion, which will be any second now. But we're here running Motegi East. It's 2.11 mile racetrack, 11 corners, half of the Twin Ring Motegi Grand Prix circuit. It's a beautiful facility here. Weather's a little cloudy, but these drivers still out on track, getting that line rubbered in. Yes, dynamic tracks, they're a thing. And they're now a thing for the UK Night Skippys Barber series. So you'll see these tiny little race cars putting down as much rubber as their little tyres can muster on that racetrack. But looking towards qualifying right now, times will be completed. We know that Adrian was on a lap, he's not anymore. David Grinnell is trying to complete one. There will still be some time left for those drivers to complete. Most, I believe, are winding those up right now. Those results will be Adrian Bidil on pole position here. As I said before, 1 minute 32.432 for him. David Grinnell, Jonathan Maycock, Mario Larson, Bill Fraser at top 5. Adcock, Blake Townend making a return. He's number 7. Hugh Anthony's in 8th. David Burnett in 9th. And Piers Cockey in number 10. Rest of those results are on your screen right now. And we'll be heading to the grid any moment now to begin round 1, season 4. Last season, of course, exciting championship run and amazing racing we saw from the series. Just unbelievable standards of driving. Honestly, one of the best seasons I've ever seen from these guys here on the UK Night Skippys Barber series, and well, we're looking forward to exactly the same thing again. Tom Ward, of course, took that championship last season in quite dominant fashion. But Tom Ward is not on the racetrack here tonight, so it would be an opening for a different driver to make an appearance on that top step of the podium tonight. New names making an appearance today. We've got Ben Summers, Vitario Saltamacchia, Murray Kutis. We've also got Russell Barnes. We've got Stuart Dick, Jonas van Verwerke, and the usual season regulars like Alan Patterson, Pete Newman, Robert Plumley, Antonides, Frazier, Adcock, Maycock and Bidil. So looking forward to seeing some exciting racing from these guys. I'm going to see a new winner potentially tonight as those cars will take to that grid. We'll be going green any moment now. Cars currently making their way to that grid as off in the distance there, the iRacing.com race car. Beautiful gold. That's in support of the Children's Cancer Trust there. Other cars coming to the track right now and will soon be ready to go. Counting down those seconds before we head into round number 1. And I'm making a late return to this series, and one that will be quite anticipated. We'll see what he can do and get himself towards the front. P7, not a great qualifying position for him, but he certainly has race speed to get going. Ideal on the pole position right now, so great run for him. Last season was a big improvement for that driver. So definitely looking forward to seeing further development from his camp. Engines starting to rev on the grid as those lights will soon come on the RaceSpot.com gantry above that racetrack. I believe they are taking their time. We could be 15 seconds from the lights right now, so the rest of those cars coming to the field now. Just a couple more drivers waiting to take to that grid position. We will be on our way. Up at the front, engines now beginning to rev as we'll be going green any second now. Lights coming on in the pace car as we are. Green flag is out here at Motegi as we go racing now for 15 laps in Japan. Great start there from Adrian Bidil as he gets in front of David Grunnell, running towards turn number 1. Running to make up behind them, looking to the outside there. We'll get a good launch from that preferred line. Behind them, of course, Blake Townend running well here. Got a good start, not possibly the best, but just up at the front. Cars running 2-3 wide to that first corner. Pretty clean start so far from all the field as everyone makes it through there. Although the drivers trying very hard to try and find a way to hit each other earlier on, as we have an incident there just through the second corner. Let's see what happened for you there. Unfortunately, it was under a bridge. We have the decency to crash in the open air, please, in future, but early contact towards the rear of your field as we'll head back towards the front to see what's going on. Ideal out front leading right now from David Grunnell. Number 18 car himself has been talking to me a few times in the last couple of weeks trying to get his surname right, and I hope I have done this time. Ideal. He's corrected me at least 3 times on the pronunciation, so we're going to get it right eventually, but good start from him, leading from Grunnell, and Grunnell himself have a good gap now back to 3rd position, which is, funnily enough, it is the car of Blake Townend in that number 57 Radicals Online machine, who has launched himself towards the front there. Great wheel-to-wheel racing there from Townend. He's not lost anything in his time away from the series. Behind him, that is Maycock, Larson, Frazier and Adcock battling wheel-to-wheel, trying to find something make their way through here, but most of those drivers bottled up somewhat by the missile mode that has come. Blake Townend, he's pushed his way through now up into that 3rd position inside of 1 lap here at Motegi. That running order now: Bidil, Grunnell, Townend, Larson, Adcock, Frazier. That's your top 5. Behind them, cars still all running. A couple of early mishaps as we do have Stuart Dick in pit road, Chris Robinson, He-Man Tanides, Vittorio Santamacchia, and Murray Kutis from that turn 1 or turn 2 lap 1 incident we saw earlier. Fortunately, with it being below a bridge, it was somewhat difficult to spot. Ben Summers towards the rear of your field as Chris Simpson also down pit road, so early race woes for those drivers. A 5-1-6 between of Jonas van Waverke running towards the rear of the pack. He's in P19 right now, hoping to move forward, so drivers definitely shown promise in this series in the past, so expect to see him move forwards, although he does have the cars of Plumley and Thurston ahead of him. Those 2 very tricky competitors. It will prove a challenge towards the front of this field. Pete Newman also on pit road now, so that's another retirement we could potentially be seeing here from Pete Newman, one of the definitely competent drivers. He went off in turn number 1 on his own, I believe, unless we had contact there. We'll actually get a replay. Newman running into the back there of that 94 machine of the running order for you. That is Mark O'Connell, so Newman just out braking himself a little bit, or Mark O'Connell braking too early. Those 2 cars getting hooked up there. Big disappointment for those drivers as they run right now. Up front it's still Grunnell has managed to make his way past Adrian Bidil, and he is now the leader of this race. Behind them, Blake Townend stalking ever closer. Townend focuses on catching those 2 leaders. Behind them, Adcock and Larson battling hard now for position, with Burnett and Frazier, racing for 6th and 7th on the racetrack. Those 4 drivers separated by less than a second on the racetrack, with, after his early race charge, Townend not quite able to catch up towards Bidil and Grunnell ahead of them. Also with dynamic tracks, the tyre model has changed, of course, in this new build for iRacing.com, and our tyre drop-off is a major factor now. So even in a short race like this one, 15 laps, affecting those tyres becomes a major concern for drivers, so early race charges to make up positions can have consequences, and we will find out whether that has happened to Blake Townend at all. Up front it's still Grunnell from Bidil, separated by half a second, or just under that as they come through to complete lap number 3, going to lap number 4. Townend heading that small pack of 4 cars, unable to break away as he had earlier, so potentially used up some of his tyres early on, which will not be good for him in the long run. He'll have to nurse that set and hope that 2 leaders fighting will come back to him, as that gap's now opened up to 2 seconds between Bidil and Townsend. At the back of the pack, Simon Maltby in P number 12. Behind him, Mick Watson, Robert Plumley. Those cars in a train there with Jonas van Verwerke. He has made up positions from 19th to 15th in 2 laps there for him. Catching up very quickly right now for the Radical Racing UK driver. Plumley will be his next target on the racetrack, but Plumley facing the cars there of Maltby and Watson, those 2 team drivers. It'll be very difficult to pass there as Watson makes a very late defensive move there, holding Plumley on the inside. Watson goes through past his teammate Maltby, as will Plumley, so big move there for Plumley, taking advantage of the car on the outside there of the gravel trap. Van Verwerke is also followed through, so that is now those 3 drivers all ahead of Mick Watson. We have lost Blake Townend, so that's a major loss for the Radicals Online driver. That was his car we saw there. I only saw half of it. Of course, that split Radicals design, difficult to keep from one direction, but turning in ahead there, we're going to replay up. Very tight corner exit there with Stuart Adcock, and that's cost him position as his car flips across the gravel trap there. You see on that replay, not quite giving Adcock the room he might have deserved, and that's well, that's very much cost Blake Townend. So after early gains there, starting P7, he got himself up to P number 3, but well, defending a little too hard there on perhaps aging tyres cost Blake Townend, and will potentially cost Stuart Adcock more positions on the racetrack right now as he nurses that damaged Skip Barber race car around this circuit. Up front, Grunnell and Bidil leading this race by now 3 seconds. Stuart Adcock in P number 3. Those 2 drivers checking out and, well, not fighting too hard right now. Staying in one of this draft, and they are holding onto this lead, allowing it to grow from the drivers behind. Larson now making a move to the inside of Adcock for P number 3. We run down towards turn number 1. Those cars level as they arrive towards the corner, and that will be a nice move there from Adcock. He backs up and gives the corner to Larson. Not fighting early on. He will save his tyres for later in the race. Pretty soon what happens when you go too wide into that corner, and it wasn't pretty. But Stuart Adcock now down to P number 4. David Burnett's not quite up to the back of Adcock yet, so breathing room there for the 52 driver. Keep an eye on Van Verwerke right now. He's back at the rear of that chain. Maltby, Watson, Plumley cannot find a way past. Those cars under a blanket. Up front, that is Mick Watson making the escape from the other drivers. Maltby and Plumley side by side there as Plumley will go through into P number 13. Oh, P number 12, that's been scored complete. So Robert Plumley up to P number 12. Maltby down to 13th, and Van Verwerke is 14th now, having started 22nd. So one of your big movers of the race. Also in the big moving category, it's Paul Thurston. He's currently P number 10, qualified in P number 17. So big movement for that driver in the number 30 machine. That's Robert Plumley's teammates. So those 2 cars clearly getting on very well with this racetrack, and that's the Canducci racing team. We'll see those guys on video, of course, and we have a big crash. And that is P number 16, I believe, I'm being told. Oh no, that's the 16 car of Simon Maltby and Jonas van Verwerke, so we'll find out exactly what's happened here. That is into, to get a replay up for you now. I believe I might have been somewhat out of time now with the replay. But big wobble by the car of Robert Plumley, that is, in front of Simon Maltby. The 16 mounts the rear end of Plumley's car and is sideways across the racetrack and collects that 516 of Jonas van Verwerke. Nothing Belgian driver can do there. Completely caught out by that incident on the racetrack. Hopefully those 2 cars able to make it back to pit road, and we'll see them later on. Although Van Verwerke seems to have steering damage as he spins off the track again. His race could well be done. The list of drivers we've lost so far: Blake Townend, Pete Newman, Chris Robinson, Fahim Antonides, Vittorio Saltamacchia, and Mario Guterres did not start. There's a good chance now Simon Maltby and Jonas van Verwerke will also be out of this race. Van Verwerke with serious steering damage on that Skip Barber race car. Towards the front, it's still Grunnell from Bidil. Gap now opened up to just under a second And still about 2.5 seconds now to Mario Larson, so Ideal's potentially spent his tyres here and is not able to catch back up again. But behind Larson in P number 3, Adcock is holding firm, half a second back from a podium finishing position here for him, so an eye on him to be a mover towards the end of this race as we now are racing lap number 7. Half distance will be complete this time at the line, and well, we've already had major attrition here at Twin Ring Motegi. Godzilla stamping his authority on this race in Japan by, seems, eating race cars. That front, Grinnell has had a pretty perfect race after passing Badil early in the running. That car has not faltered or failed. He's managed to run cleanly. And that is seeing him in a very, very prominent first position. Battle for P number 13 on the racetrack, and that is the cars there of Robert Plumley and Mark O'Connell. O'Connell, of course, involved in that incident with Newman. No front end on that pink number 94 machine, although he will come back at the inside there of Robert Plumley into corner number 2. And he hold it here. We'll soon very much see. He is holding it, but Plumley will have the inside now, so it would be benefit to Robert Plumley. Mark O'Connell holding on valiantly there with no front nose cone or front wing, and holds that position from Plumley. Great battle here in the bottom end of your top 15. Plumley has the inside for this corner. Will he make it through cleanly? He does this time. Robert Plumley now moves himself up to P number 12. So, great move there from Robert Plumley. He will hold on to that one for now. .1 seconds now separating Grinnell and Badil for the lead of this race. Not sure if Badil is saving tyres or losing his tyres, because gap now to Mario Larson in P number 3 is starting to close. So that driver of the number 18 machine must be very careful. He's got to be thinking about what's happening behind him. Can he hold on another 6 laps in this race? Has he got what it takes to hold on? They will complete lap number 8 this time round, and we are growing ever closer to the finish of this race tonight. Will Fraser's had a pretty quiet run so far. He's sitting in P number 6. Peter Cowan, P number 7, also running pretty cleanly. Those two drivers not been involved in too much throughout this race, as is Ryan Walker in the 4. They are P6, 7 and 8 on the racetrack. Walker down to P number 10 this time around, so he's had a moment, it seems. Those drivers pretty stealthy, not much going on for them. Paul Thurston brings himself up to P number 9 now. Piers Cocky, who qualified P number 10 there in the race, to P number 8. Biggest mover, though, I still say, well, Paul Thurston's taken over from Ricardo Van Verke. He is up to P number 9 from qualifying 17th, so big movements there from the teammate of Robert Plumley, the Caducci Racing team. Lots of movement for that car. The one's Martin Fox. He qualified 26th on the racetrack, running in number 15th right now. Good run from him today. Bit of a damage to that front wing, so could be one of the curbs here at Motegi. They are notoriously bumpy. A great improvement, up half the field there for Martin Fox in the 800 machine. Alan Patterson having a good race. He's actually managing to finish this one so far. The series organizer never had as much luck as he would have wanted in this series, and has often suffered at the hands of other drivers, but running in P16 right now after qualifying 19th. He's currently, I believe, 6 seconds back from 15th place and 7 seconds clear of 17th, so a quiet race for Alan Patterson, which is exactly what he wants, I believe. That'll be some safe early points for the driver of the number 14. Larson's now beginning to fall back from Bidel up in P number 3, but not that much, as Adrian Bidel falling back 1.8 seconds behind David Grinnell, your race leader. Larson starting to drop back now, so it could be a sign that his tyres are beginning to go too, and we might see Bidel hold on to this position. Desperately fought to hold that second place, not had enough to hold on to David Grinnell in the 0-2. Out front, Adrian Grinnell looking unbeatable here at Twin Ring Motegi. Hopefully that won't be enough for the commentator's curse, but a very clean, precise run from Grinnell. At Mario Larson right now, and P number 3 as he starts to try and reel in the car there of Adrian Bidul ahead of him. Adcock behind, hasn't let go. Adcock let Larson through early on, let's not forget. So potentially a tyre saving strategy for the 52. He has not dropped away, so definitely has something in the bag for the last few laps of this race. So expect to move for P number 3 in the dying moments, but we could be seeing movement for P number 2 right now as those cars reel in Bidul. He has dropped another second on your leader David Grinnell in the last lap or two. 2.8 seconds back now, so just under 1 second between himself and Mario Larson. The number 17 machine can smell blood in the water, as can Stuart Adcock. Pulled 3 seconds over David Burnett behind him in 5th. This could be a battle for your podium positions here. And Bidul will hold on for the last few laps here and maintain a 2nd position to start his season. Will he finish 3rd? Will he finish off the podium completely? Has he got the tyres to do it? That is going to be the big question for the last few laps here at Motegi. Winning lap number 11 here, of course, and David Grinnell still flawless out front. That car has not dropped off. Ran a 32.5 last time round, which is, well, only 3/100ths off his qualifying time for 2nd place. That car has not fallen away at all. 1.5 or 1 second faster at the moment than Bidul. So a dominating performance from Grinnell. He's supposed to be making those tyres last. Larson manages a 32.6, so he's definitely closing in on Bidul now. Bidul's last lap was a 33.495, almost a second slower than his qualifying time in the race earlier on. So some cars dropping off, some cars not there, as Larson right up on the gearbox now of Bidul as we head to complete lap number 11, beginning lap number 12. And Larson make a move this time around. He'll look to the inside, approaching turn number 1. Will he hold it here? He will go for that move. As wide as he dare. Not much fight there from Bidul. His tyres possibly too gone to fight here. Struggling to keep that car on the racetrack here as we head through the twisty section now towards the middle of this east layout of Twin Ring Motegi. Bidul next going to come under attack from Stuart Adcock. Will this be 3rd position on the podium for Adcock? Or will Bidul be able to hold on? We'll find out very shortly, but out front, Grinnell checked out completely. 3.3 seconds now between himself and Mario Larson, only increasing as the laps do. Mario Larson so up to P number 2. Stuart Adcock looking for P number 3 right now, and he begins his season with a podium position. He looks to the inside here as we come towards the end of this lap. He will easily complete that move up the inside of Bidul. Bidul's tyres definitely looking a lot more ragged than the cars around him, so only one more position now for Adcock. Can he do something here to take 2nd in the dying moments? Back behind Larson early on, so he's allowed 17 machine to burn his tyres. Can Stuart Adcock find something extra here? Can he bring something to this fight? Can take the 2nd position on the podium? Brilliant, brilliant potential result there for Stuart Adcock as we're on board now with him and looking towards the back there of Mario Larson. That car now very much in the hunted position. Nobody in front of him but Grinnell, who he has very little chance of catching. So we're now on lap number 13. Adcock will be starting to pour on that coal, trying to find some extra speed he's been saving earlier on. Can he close in now and pass that car? Has he got more tyres left than the 17? Can the 52 do anything here? We have to find out. Looking back through the field though, we're looking for some more action on the racetrack. These guys are definitely now sorted themselves for these final positions. Paul Thurston up to P number 9, still not really able to make ground. Ryan Walker behind him is closing in, so there could be a change there. Robert Plumley in P number 12, he's not gained anything, but he has pulled away from Mark O'Connell. That damaged car's not really able to hold speed there with a 147. And there, Martin Fox still in P15, so everything pretty spread out towards the Rowan Deal field here at Twin Ring Motegi. Although down the back of the field, Simon Maltby fighting now with the car there of as soon as I clear this bridge. As Jonas van Verwerke, they were fighting when they were on the lead lap, but now they're going to fight 1 lap down for 22nd position in the last car 1 lap down position. Abby van Verwerke was leading, but now it's Maltby ahead of him, so Maltby 22, Van Verwerke P23 here as we're heading towards the end of this lap. Look back towards Stuart Adcock though in P number 3. Can he close in now on Larson? Has he saved enough? Can he make it? This car's spreading out a bit more now as Larson is 3.5 seconds back from Grunnell. He's definitely pushing hard. A sixth of a second between himself and Adcock. The gap is not big at all. Will that 52 manage to close in? This is probably the closest back we have on the racetrack on that lead lap. Also going to keep an eye on, oh no, good look at P22, 23. That's Van Verwerke. That's Maltby. Maltby back ahead of Van Verwerke in P22. Those cars swapping position every other corner as Van Verwerke looks to the inside for turn number 1. Can he make it stick? He'll look inside. He will get that position. Don't forget these two drivers actually involved in that incident earlier on where Maltby was spun across the track and hit Van Verwerke. So both drivers racing now for a matter of pride more than points in this series. Out front, Larson starting to come under pressure now from Adcock. Machine closing in rapidly on that 17 car. Larson's moving a lot more erratically now in the corners. Could be using up the last of his tyres. Could have come too soon. Lap number 14 here will be coming onto the final lap. These drivers will get that white flag this time around. It'll be one more lap to go here at Twin Ring Motegi East. Adcock has to pounce now if he wants that second position. Looked much faster in the tight twisty section at the end of the lap last time round. Has he got anything for Larson this time round? Closing in with that draft as they approach turn number 1, but it won't be soon enough for the 52. They have to find something in the latter stages of this lap. Can he find a way past? A deal behind them, hoping those two drivers get involved in something and he could sneak through onto the podium again. His tyres just not able to hold on there. Adcock pushing hard now as Larson wobbles on the racetrack. That car very squirrely under the 17. Adcock pushing as hard as he can, looking for any advantage he can on the racetrack as they head now towards the back end of the racetrack. Has he got something left? Diving that car in deep. Can he find a way past? Not yet, he can't. This will be his last opportunity, his last very twisty sector. This is where last time round, remember, he closed in massively on the back of Larson. He's going to have to find a way to sling this car in, find any opportunity he can. He will come through to complete the final lap of this race. Next flag they receive will be the checkered flag. This will be the end of it for them. They'll be on the podium as they stand, but Adcock wants it to be the other way around. Desperately looking for something he can find. He cannot get it done. One more opportunity in the final double apex corner here. Can he do anything? Going to be too far back. David Grunnell sailing out ahead of them. He will take an easy victory here at Twin Ring Motegi. But Adcock cannot find a way past. He will have to settle for third position. David Grunnell wins the round number 1 of season 4 here in the UK Night Skippys Barber Series at Twin Ring Motegi. Behind him, Mario Larson holds on for a desperate second. Adcock with a hard charging third. Adrian Badil, he started on the pole. He'll finish 4th place here tonight. Respectable finish for him. That'll be David Burnett in 5th. Bill Fraser in 6th. Peter Cowan in P number 7. Here's Cocky, P number 8. Paul Thurston, P9. Brian Walker will round out your top 10. The rest of those finishing results will be up on your screen. Because we actually care, Simon Maltby finished ahead of Jonas Van Verwerke in the battle for the first car, 1 lap down, in P22. An exciting first round here for us at Motegi. Join us same time next week as we'll be covering round number 2 of this series. I'm expecting a lot more action. Join us next week.